Hi, I'm Mark Friedman, and today we're going to use Excel to solve make or buy decisions in managerial accounting. Either download the spreadsheet or copy it as it is shown, and then press resume. What we have in this problem is a company that's manufacturing something, and we're given the cost that they're manufacturing. That's in this section over here. It's costing them 95 cents to manufacture something. We have an outside company who is willing to sell the items to them for 75 cents, and they need 700,000 units. Some of the costs are relevant and some of the costs are not relevant. So what I would like us to do is to go over to this area, G16 through G19, where we're going to have the end users indicate if the cost is relevant or it's not relevant. I like to fill in these spaces in yellow. Notice that we lose the borders, so let's go to border and select all borders. Those costs which will be relevant will be those future costs, first the future cost, and it changes under the different alternative. And the alternative over here is, should we purchase it from outside? Well, if we purchase the items from outside, then we will not have to pay for the direct material, so that will be a Y. We won't have to pay for the direct labor, that'll be a Y. I'm going to put in a capital Y, just to see if that makes a difference. The variable overhead, also, if we are manufacturing something, we will have a variable overhead, but if we are purchasing it, we will not have that variable overhead. How about the fixed cost? In the problem, it says that the fixed cost would not change if the company stopped making the brackets. Well, we have a future cost, the fixed cost, but it's not going to change under the different alternatives, and therefore it is not relevant. So we're going to put in an N for not relevant. I think those would look nicer if they were centered, so let's highlight that section, center them, and let's go over to J on the same line as the direct material, and let us test to see if a Y was put into cell G16. Equal if, open parentheses, G16 equals, now since this is an alphanumeric, we put it within quotes. It's equal to a Y. We call that the logical test. If anything else is in there but not a Y, it won't do it. If G16 equals Y, comma, we read that as then what do I want? I want the value that's in E16, comma, and if it's not a Y, I want nothing. Do you want to have a zero there or a space? Either one will work. Let's put a space there. A space is a quote, space, quote, and close parentheses. That is our if statement. Our if statement is made up of a condition. The condition is if G16 is equal to Y, comma, then I want you to pick up the 20 cents, comma, otherwise nothing. Let's hit the Enter key. I'm now going to copy it down. I go to the cell in the bottom right-hand corner. It has a little dot. I pull down the dot. Notice that everything has a value except for the fixed cost. Let's go back over here and let's change just for a second a Y to an N, and it doesn't show up. This is very nice. Let's add those items up. This will be an equal sum, open parentheses, select. Now make sure you select the fixed as well. Maybe next time it will be relevant. Close the parentheses. We have equal sum J16 through J19. Hit the Enter key, and it's going to be 70.
So let's put commas on everything. Select from J16 to J20.
and choose comma. The first one and the last one should have a dollar sign. Select the 20 cents and the 70 cents. And we're looking at currency. Well, that's not right. They're not lined up. Let's select currency, not the first one. I want the one that has the closed parentheses. Click OK. Click off. That looks great. Let's see what happens if the end user types in an R for relevant. And R for relevant does not work, but the end user doesn't know that. How do we test to see if the end user put in a Y or an N? And after we do that, then we can test to see if it's a Y. Let's go to J16 and put in a new formula. Equal or G16 equals Y, G16 equals N. Notice I could use either an upper or lowercase. Let's see what the result is. It's false. And if I put in a Y, it's true. And if I put in an N, it's true, but an R will be false. Again, equal or G16 equals Y or G16 equals N. We can now make this part of the if statement. This is the condition. Equal if, and the condition is G16 equals Y or G16 equals N. That's how we read it. If that is the condition, if it is a Y or an N, then I want to test. If the end user enters a Y or an N, passes the first condition. If it's a Y, then I want what's in cell E16, otherwise nothing. But what if it fails the first test? Then we enter comma, quote, please enter a Y or an N, close quote, then close the parentheses. Notice that the parentheses is black. Where is there another black parentheses? All the way at the beginning. Notice that the inner ones are colored, the inner ones are colored. Press the Enter key. Please enter a Y or an N. Change G16 to a Y. And everything is perfect. Well, everything is okay. Let's go back to the 70 cents, J20, and let's put in a single double, borders, single double. Very nice. Should we make this or should we buy it? Which way will be cheaper? How about we put a blue around this? If the relevant cost of 70 cents is less than the purchase price of 75, then we should make it. Let's go to cell A22. Equal if J20, the 70 cents, the total relevant cost, is less than E12, where E12 is the price per unit to purchase each one, then they should make the bracket. Otherwise, they should buy the bracket. What is the difference between the two options? Let's go to A23. Type in the difference between the two options is, enter. And in cell D23, we could put in the difference between the two options. 75 cents minus the 70 cents times the 700,000 equals the quantity of, because we're going to do subtraction before multiplication, equals the quantity of E12, the 75, minus the J20, close parentheses, times the number of units, 700,000, in E11, enter, the difference being 35,000. What would happen if E12 was, instead of 70 cents, 65 cents. Make that wider. They should buy the brackets. The difference is, so I think we want to have an absolute value equal ABS, open parentheses, which will change this to 35,000. They should buy the brackets. The difference is 35,000 or 0.75. They should make the brackets. The difference between the two options is 35,000. Beautiful. Sometimes the problem is asked, should they continue making it? How much would net income change if they decide to make it anyway? And we would just have to figure out if that's a gain or a loss. Looking good.